Привет everyone, welcome to video number 5, in which as always we'll review the syllables, all the letters I taught you in the previous videos, and I'll teach you 6 new letters today. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump into the syllables to practice. So go ahead and practice with me. Pause the video if you want to do it first, but I'm just going to read them, and at the very least, please repeat after me, but try to read it first and see if you get it right. So, first one. Ba, gu, де, во, за, жо, ух, не, ас, ё, ре, ге, ай, фу, ел, ле, уп, аж, оз, ру, уй, аб. Alright. Okay, I think these test you on just about everything we learned. Feel free to practice more with these, but one other thing we'll do together to practice is I'll show you a few words that again I want you to read and try to figure out what they mean, and then we'll jump into the new letters. Okay, so the new words, I'll give you a hint, they're all musical instruments. Okay, so let's get started. So again, try to read it and then figure out which instrument it is. Okay, so here's the first one. Alright, so reading it together. Кларнет. Again, a little faster. Кларнет. Кларнет. So, what do you guys think is clarinet? Well, clarinet is, of course, clarinet. Alright. There's a tongue twister in Russian, which goes Karl украл. See, I messed up right from the start. Let me try again. Карл у Клары украл кораллы, а Клара у Карла украла кларнет. Which in Russian means Carl stole Clara's chorales, and Clara stole Carl's clarinet. Almost a tongue twister in English as well. Anyway, on to the next one. All right. All right. So you ready to read it? Here's your stress. Banjo, 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 which is of course banjo, banjo, banjo. Okay. By the way, this thing is how we spell the j sound. So banjo, j. So we can't just spell it as j, because if we just spell it as j, banjo, banjo, I mean, it sounds pretty much the same. But yeah, we usually spell the j, English sound j, as dj, dj, dj. All right. Hope it makes sense. So banjo. Okay. How about this one here? This one's fairly easy to read, but it may take you some work to figure out which instrument it actually is. So let's read it first. Arfa, right? Arfa. So what is arfa? I'll give you a hint. It's a pretty big instrument with a lot of strings, and it's kind of very romantic, even like fairy tale like kind of to me. All right, well, it is harp. Arfa is harp. Okay, how about this one? Oops, sorry. Just wanted to put the stress. Okay. So ready to read it? Let's do it. F, L, Y, fle. This one is Y, right? Fleita. Fleita. So fleita is, of course, flute. Fleita. Fleita. Okay, and let's see if there were any other ones that I had in mind for you guys. Well, I should have prepared better. I think there was another instrument that I wanted to do with you, but alright, well. Anyway, this will be it. I'll probably think of it later. But while I'm thinking, let's read a couple of cities, okay? How about this one? Okay, so this one is, well, let's read it first. Los Angeles, right? So again, Los Angeles, Los Angeles. So Los Angeles is, of course, Los Angeles. Los Angeles. Okay. Well, this will do. Can't think of that instrument. Anyhow, let's get to the next 6 letters today. Here they are. Okay. Okay. So let me type them up right away. Okay, so I'll start with this guy. So this one is a little tricky, but it's fairly easy to pronounce it. So the sound it makes is ts, 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 ts. Okay, so essentially it's kind of like T and S merged into one sound. In English, you do have the sound, or 2 sounds really, kind of like in the word cats, right? If you just pronounce TS, that's essentially this sound. So I guess technically you could spell it as ts. I mean, it's essentially the same thing, but we happen to have a separate letter for it. And it is a little probably more blended in. So let's say it again together. Ts. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay, how about this one? So this one is also very easy. It totally exists in English. The sound it makes is ch, 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 like in chat. All right, ch. Let me open our canvas so I can show you how I draw them. So, all right, like imagine this is a line like that we write on, okay? So the first one essentially looks like this, right? Ts, ts. So this one, right? This one. So this one is ts, ts. Again, the second one, which is ch, looks like this. All right, so ch is kind of standing on one leg, while ts is kind of sitting on that line that you're writing on. Okay, so yeah, if I write them next to each other, right? Here's ts and here's ch, right? Okay, cool. And all right, these two. So this one is super easy as well. This is essentially just sh, sh, like in shoot, sh. All right, just sh essentially. Kind of looks like a W, but it's all like straight angled. So again, I mean, if you're drawing it, super easy. All right, that's all you do. Okay, and again, the sound is super easy. It's just sh, sh. All right. Okay, so congratulations, guys. This is your first stranger. Remember, I taught you the 4 groups. I don't think we've technically had a stranger letter yet. So this is a letter that produces a sound that does not exist in English, technically. But it's kind of a fun sound because it's very similar to this one. Okay, so I guess you can only hear the difference if I pronounce them back to back, one after another. So let's do it. Ready? Try to repeat after me. So this one again is shh. All right. And this one is shh. So listen again. Shh. 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 Okay. If I try to use my voice, listen again. Sh. 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 And to you it may sound like this one has some kind of a vowel tail again, right? It's like I'm saying sh, sh, sh. But to us Russians, it is only, the difference is only in the consonant itself. Obviously they're both consonants. So let's try to pronounce them again. So this one is shh. And this one shh. All right. All right, good news, guys. This is a super rare letter. You won't find it in many words. An example, by the way, I can give you an example, is the word borsh. Borsh is the Russian/Ukrainian soup, which is essentially Eastern European soup. I mean, they cook it in many countries in Eastern Europe. Very, very popular. Made out of beets. Okay, let me actually show you. Yeah, that's what borscht looks like. All right, it's served with sour cream usually, and it has, you know, cabbage, beets, carrots, potatoes, a bunch of veggies. Some people like it with meat. I think most people cook it with meat, but my wife and I don't, so it's less work. But it tastes just as good. So borscht. Yeah, so borscht, if you've ever heard this name, it does have the sh on the end. But honestly, I mean, it's a rare letter, and you'll never have words in which mispronouncing sh or sh, if you pronounce sh like sh, like you won't find any words where the meaning would actually change. Okay, so For all you know, you may have never learned sh, and you would have been fine. But it's of course important to know that there are two letters very similar. They look similar, they sound similar. By the way, how do you spell sh? Let's look at it. So you spell it like this, you draw it like this, and then a little tail. Okay. So yeah. A tip on how you can pronounce sh properly. So imagine you're pronouncing the ch sound, okay? But instead of just cutting it off, you try to drag it. Just try to keep saying it. All right, let's try it. Ch. So ch, ch, right? The sound is ch, and then just drag it. Ch. So essentially, that's the sound. Sh. All right. So ch, sh, sh. Or again, if you try to pronounce ch and drag it, that's essentially your sh sound. Okay, confused yet? Good. It's okay. You'll get there. All right. So let's review these four. Ts, ch, sh, sh. Okay. And we have two vowels today. Okay. This vowel looks familiar a little bit. We already learned a backwards N, but the one we learned had a curvy accent on top, which was y, right? This one is y, y, which is technically a consonant. But this one is a pure vowel, and the way it's pronounced is e, e, like in leave or live. Remember I told you about u in Russian? I told you that English technically has two kinds of u's, like in cook and cook, or something like that. So, and I told you, I'm not really sure which one the Russian u is closer to. It's the same story with the e. To a Russian, there's only one kind of e. The way we pronounce it is e, e. So whether to you it sounds closer to the long e in English or the short e, leave or live, I think it's probably closer to the long e, but that's me. A Russian person with a strong accent would probably pronounce these two words the same way. They would say live. Like this, yeah. Live, live. I live in Russia. Or I'm leaving tomorrow. I leave tomorrow. Yeah, it's the same to a Russian. So just think of it as E. Okay. And the last one in today's batch is yo. So yo, again, it kind of looks a lot like yeah. You remember yeah, right? But yeah did not have the dots. So, and it's yeah. So this one is pronounced yo, yo. All right, pretty much like this, yo. So in the word yoga, right, the yo part is pretty much your yo, okay? And just like yeah, it's a diphthong. Remember I told you what a diphthong was? It's kind of a letter that consists of two sounds. So yo, you can kind of split into two sounds as well, into y and o. So technically, you could even spell it as y o, like that, right? I mean, it makes sense. So if this one is just o, and this one is y, then together they make yo, and that's pretty much exactly like yo, the letter yo sound. So you may ask me, why do we have letter yo if we can just spell it as y o? I don't know, guys. It's kind of like why do you spell the word you in English using 3 letters if you can just use 1, right? So all languages have that kind of stuff. Just remember, we do have a separate letter for yo. It is a diphthong, and it follows the same rule, right? So the rule says that in open syllables, it's pronounced as is, yo. For example, yol, yol. But in a closed syllable, or when preceded by a consonant, yo is blended in with the consonant, and the y part of it kind of disappears a little bit, and it does affect the consonant too. We'll talk about it later. So for now, just listen to me and try to say it the same way. So this syllable is lo, lo. Again, the important thing is not to pronounce it as lyo, lyo, but try to blend them in. Lo, lo, lo. So again, yol, lo. All right. So, okay, let's review them once again and then practice. So, together, repeat after me. C, ch, sh, sh, I, and yo. All right, perfect. So let's do some syllables. Okay. So, ready? Again, if you want to do it yourself, pause the video. But we're gonna read them together. So, ca, co, cu, ce, and the new letter ci, right? This is the new letter I, so ci. It's gonna sound like we're learning Mandarin Chinese, probably a little bit, but these are the funny syllables, funny sounding syllables. Alright, so let's do the same with cha. So ready? Okay. Cha, cho, chu, che, chi. All right. A riddle for you guys. Mary's father has 5 daughters. Cha-cha, cho-cho, choo-choo, che-che. What's the 5th one? Yes. I think some of you probably guessed it. It is not Chi-Chi. It is Mary. Okay? Well, if you didn't guess it, you fell for it. So, okay. Next, 2 letters. Let's do them in pairs because it's essential. Okay. So, repeat after me. Sha, sha. All right. Sho, sure. Okay. Shu, shu. All right. Okay, these ones are she, she, and she, she. All right. And well, let's practice the vowels a little bit. So, okay. Okay, so remember the diphthong in an open syllable is pronounced yo. So this one is yod, yod, but this one is yo, yo. All right. Il, well, E is not a diphthong, so it doesn't really matter. So il, and this one is li, li. Okay. This one is yog, yog, and swapped gyo, gyo, and a couple more with E, is, and z, z. Okay, cool. So I guess let's do one more row real quick where I'll mix them up. So, okay. Okay, so, all right, let's read them. Cha. Pause the video if you want to beat me to it. Ots. Shu. Shu. Ich. Jetzt. Osh. Osh. Yoj. Zho. Okay, cool. So last thing we'll do is I'll type a couple of cities for you guys to read, geographical names featuring the new letters. See if you can read them and figure out what they are, and then we'll call it a lesson. All right, this one's super easy. Here's your stress. So let's read it. Chicago, right? Chicago, which is of course Chicago. Okay, next one. Well, this is a mouthful. All right, take a second. Okay, so remember, if it's hard to read, a word is too long, just break it into syllables. So here we go. This is ts, right? E, so tsin. And then the second syllable is exactly the same, tsin, right? So tsin, tsin, and then na, ti. So Cincinnati, which is Cincinnati. Well, to my embarrassment, I think that's how you spell it. Let me double check. Yeah, double N. Is that how I spelled it? Yeah, I think it's right. Okay, Cincinnati. All right, another one. Okay, how about this one? Well, you probably guessed it by the first part, which is san. But let's read it anyway. Fran. And then a couple of new letters here. Ci, s, ko, right? So San Francisco. San Francisco. San Francisco. Okay, and one more. Well, they merge a little bit. Let me do. Well, they still merge. Okay, this is a G, right? And this one's a T. So G and T. Alright, so here's your stress. What's the place? Okay, let's do it. Washington. Right, again a little faster. Washington. Washington. Remember what I told you about W sound? We don't have it. So normally we replace it with V. Close enough. So that is Washington. So Washington, DC, or the Washington state. I mean, normally I would say an average Russian probably wouldn't know much about Washington state. So if you say Washington in Russian, you'll be referring to the capital of the United States, Washington, DC. But anyway, Washington is Washington. So this is it, guys, for today's video. Exciting news, we only have technically 6 6 more letters to learn, two of which are not real letters. Thumbs up. They're signs. They don't really make sounds, but technically they're letters. And we have 4 more real letters that actually produce sounds. But in total, we only have 6 more letters to cover, and we will have covered the entire alphabet. Congratulations, just one more video. I'll see you soon. Take care. Пока-пока.